from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We're learning new information tonight about an alleged sexual abuse cover-up. For the first time, the man who claims a priest molested him and that the church tried to cover it up is letting Valley News Live into his home.
He's suing the Crookston Diocese and is worried there could be more victims still out there. Valley News Team's Ryan Laughlin has our story.
Right now, we're going to be building a cabinet for a gal.
Ron Vasic is the spare husband.
Kind of anything that somebody needs done.
The family man handyman runs this business with his son.
My family is the most important thing I have on this earth.
He says the Catholic Church used another one of his sons to keep sexual abuse quiet.
And it'd be very difficult for your son, who's a priest at our diocese, too.
A letter he says he was coerced into signing to protect his son, a priest in Halleck, Minnesota. A letter that says no sexual abuse took place back in 1971.
He molested me, and I kind of fended him off.
Vasic says when he was 16 years old on a church trip, Father Grundhouse molested him in a hotel room. He says he carried that secret for more than 4 decades. He says it was Father Grundhouse that married him and his wife, even baptized his kids.
When my kids were little, I could never change their diapers. I always felt that if I touched their genitals, that I might enjoy it, or that I was abusing them. So my whole relationship with my children has been affected by that.
Now Vasic says his goal is to cleanse the diocese of men like Bishop Michael Heppner.
There's God, and then there's the church. And I'm the church. I'm the one that does the ordaining. I'm the one that decides who gets ordained.
Vasic says that's what Bishop Heppner told him and his wife during a meeting when he was trying to get ordained as a deacon. He says it was then he decided to sue the diocese.
Everything that I have learned about sexual predators is that there is never just one victim.
He wants to expose what's going on inside the Crookston Diocese and wants to encourage other victims to come forward.
That's the part that's sickening, is the cover-ups and the hiding behind the rules and hiding behind this and that.
Now the future of the lawsuit is up to a judge in Pennington County, but Vasic says this case will ultimately be decided by a different judge. From East Grand Forks, Ryan Laughlin, Valley News Live.
The Crookston Diocese denies Vasic's allegations. They released a statement yesterday saying they take all matters of sexual misconduct seriously and that Father Grundhouse remains suspended from public ministry. To see their full statement, head to valleynewslive.com and check out this story.
The West Fargo Police Department is investigating after an area police officer's vehicle was shot up. Police say it happened around 11:30 Tuesday night. They say someone fired about 4 shots into the officer's personal vehicle, and it had damage to the rear and front windshields. No one was in the vehicle at the time. No one was hurt. West Fargo police are asking that anyone with information give them a call at 433-5500.
There's still time to mow your lawn before tomorrow's rain rolls in. No need to rake, though. Today's wind should take care of those leaves. Hutch, will the winds continue to howl tonight?
They will be stout, and they're transporting warm air into the Southern Valley. As you can see here, 80s there, and it is almost 30 degrees cooler as we head up into portions of northwest North Dakota. The radar fairly quiet until we look to the north and west. There's some showers approaching Williston. The air over the Northern Valley quite dry, but just south of Fargo, some humid air is punching up. Now, we could have some spotty thunder showers this evening, mainly in the Northern Valley. I don't think they'll be severe, but overnight there will be a risk of severe weather as that moist air punches in. We'll have more in your hour-by-hour forecast on when and where. But for this evening, it looks fairly quiet in Fargo with temperatures staying in the 70s for most of it. In Grand Forks, you can have a chance of a hit-or-miss thunder shower this evening. I don't anticipate widespread severe up north this evening. Later tonight, that's another story.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch.
We're going to take a live look out at Island Park in Fargo as people are gathering for healing in remembrance of Savannah Greywind, the young woman whose body was found near the Red River last month. The event is just getting underway. Savannah's death sent shock waves throughout the region, and today's ceremony is an effort to gain healing and comfort for everyone emotionally affected. Savannah was pregnant at the time of her disappearance, and her baby, Hazley Joe, was recovered from the apartment complex where she was last seen. Hazley Joe's father, Ashton Matheny, was granted full custody. 2 people have been arrested in relation to Savannah's death.
We're learning more about the Minnesota man at the center of a shocking kidnapping and assault case. Thomas Barker is one of 3 men charged with holding an Alexandria teen captive for 29 days. She escaped earlier this month. Now a woman has come forward claiming Barker sexually assaulted her 2 years ago. Barker was charged, but the case never went to trial. Prosecutors say the victims stopped returning their calls. Barker is being held on $100,000 bond in the kidnapping case. His attorney says he expects Barker will plead not guilty.
A domestic violence shelter in Devil's Lake is trying to raise money to keep its doors open. The Safe Alternatives for Abused Families shelter opened this past April, and the director says there have been only 2 days when it wasn't used by anyone. The shelter serves a 7-county area, including the Spirit Lake Nation, and the need has far exceeded projections, as it costs more than $500 a day to run the shelter, and the organization is running out of money. Each county and the reservation contributed $5,000 to get the shelter operating. The Ramsey County Commission agreed to provide an additional $5,000 to help keep it running. The shelter is organizing fundraisers to try and raise additional money as well. If you'd like to help out, we have a link attached to this story on our website, valleynewslive.com.
Identity theft and fraud cost people in this country more than $16 billion last year. Now a group is working to do than just toss out common sayings like, if it sounds good, too good to be true, it probably is, to really hammer the point home. A presentation today organized by the Association of American Retired Persons zeroed in on the older Americans who are often the targets of scammers, asking them to follow simple steps like be sure to never give money to anyone they don't know. The North Dakota AARP director says we all can use some simple tools to protect ourselves to prevent falling victim to schemers. Experts say consumers with a heavy social media or online presence are also more likely to be fraud targets.
The Asian country of Taiwan will buy some North Dakota wheat over the next 2 years. It's part of an agreement worth more than $500 million and also includes wheat from Idaho and Montana. The Idaho Wheat Commission says Taiwan buys mostly Idaho soft white wheat, but has been purchasing an increased amount of North Dakota's hard red wheat over recent years.
People in rural areas are having trouble staying connected. For some, cell phone coverage will soon not be an option. Verizon Wireless customers are receiving letters from the carrier saying that they are using too much roaming data on the network and will have their service cut. The National Telecommunications Cooperative Association says regulatory processes have hampered cell service expansion in the United States. However, work is being done to find a way to get wireless service everywhere in the country.
It's very difficult for those communities that don't have it now, but when you look at the country as a whole, I mean, we're doing a decent job. We're getting there.
There is a dedicated government fund that will build cell towers in rural areas. That money is expected to be spread throughout the country over the next 10 years.
A man arrested in a high-speed chase last night has been in trouble before. Why he was out of jail with several outstanding warrants against him. That's later on Valley News Live at 6.
Up next, things you should be doing right now to make sure your lawn is ready for winter.